there, everyone. Welcome to the 5th episode of Strange Silver Age. You can call me Cassie Rose, and I'm your host and guide through the bizarre world of Silver Age DC Comics. I guess I should explain what Silver Age means, for those of you that might not know. The Silver Age covers the period of comics released from 1956 to 1970, and it's pretty well known for having some out there stories. Let's just say I wouldn't be surprised if they were smoking something in the writer's room. Today, we're covering Adventure Comics, issue number 389, released in 1970. Specifically, I'll be focusing on the cover story, Supergirl's Jilted Boyfriends. Without further ado, let's dive in. The cover is Supergirl touching a guy that looks absolutely terrified, gradually turning him into solid rock. Supergirl, why are you turning me to stone? Whenever I split with a boyfriend, I add him to my private rock garden. You can be your own tombstone. Behind them, there are 8 other lifelike stone statues. That has some horrifying implications. The teaser page has Supergirl looking horrified as she watches someone explode in front of her. No, Kim, the boy I loved, blown to bits, and it's my fault. Well, the cover and teaser page make Supergirl look like a boyfriend serial killer. According to the cover, she enjoys it and does it on purpose, but the teaser page seems to imply it's a string of accidental murders that she deeply regrets. Which one is it, you contradicting cover and teaser page? Which one? Here comes the narration box. The usual plot for a movie love story goes like this. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, but boy finally wins girl. However, this time there's a grim switch. Boy meets Supergirl, boy splits from Supergirl, but finally, boy gets killed by Supergirl. Yeah, I'd pick that over a generic romance movie any day of the week. Continue narration box. If you don't believe we're giving you the shocking twist on the usual happy ending boy meets girl theme, read Supergirl's Jilted Boyfriends. Nah, I do believe that Silver Age writers would tell an insane story like this, but I'm still going to read it anyway. So, before I jump into the story, I want to let all of you know that Silver Age Supergirl used the human name Linda Danvers instead of Kara Danvers, which is the name most modern comic readers are familiar with, despite the fact that her Kryptonian name was always Kara Zor-El. I was very confused by this when I first encountered Silver Age Supergirl comics, so I thought I'd clear that up for all of you. So, in this story, Supergirl, aka Linda Danvers, is attending Stanhope College. She offers her crush, a boy named Kim, her class ring. Unfortunately for Linda, he throws the ring into the bushes and rejects her. After the dirtbag turns his back to her, Linda uses her super suction breath to retrieve the ring from the bushes. But it gets caught in her throat, and she dies. The end. I'm joking, of course, but that easily could have happened. Linda thinks her gift not being impressive enough is the issue, rather than Kim being a terrible person. So she changes into her Supergirl costume and makes Kim the perfect car with her super strength and heat vision. However, despite the fact that the car is amazing, Kim does nothing but complain. He even deliberately drives the car off a cliff, knowing Supergirl will save him, just to prove his point that it's a bad car. Supergirl, honey, just give up. He's not worth it. But Supergirl is convinced she can win over Kim and saves him and the car by catching them with a massive fishnet. Kim, unsurprisingly, refuses to thank her for saving his life because he blames her for his terrible driving just because she gifted him the car. Wow, this guy is such a tool! And he's apparently an escaped space convict, as we find out during a flashback. Kim's real name is Keymore, and he's apparently very popular with the ladies despite his stupid haircut. Anyway, Keymore received a message from the infamous galactic criminal Brainiac, which gave Keymore instructions on escaping prison with Brainiac's assistance. The next day, Brainiac broke Keymore out of prison and took him to his spaceship. Inside of his ship, Brainiac showed off a robot duplicate of Keymore, which he intends to use as a weapon against Supergirl by making her fall in love with it. Brainiac explained that the robot is almost complete, but still needs the most important element, Keymore's personality. Oh, so the fact that he's a callous piece of... Brainiac copied Keymore's personality to his robot, then launched the real Keymore off to a desolate planet to die. The robot duplicate of Keymore arrived at Stanhope College as a transfer student named Kimberly Orion. Oh, that is aggressively Irish. Did Brainiac program the robot with the love of Lucky Charms cereal and the ability to dance the Irish jig? I need to know. Fast forward to the present. Brainiac, under the impression that Linda and Supergirl are friends instead of the same person, tells Kimbot to get close to Linda so she can arrange for him to meet Supergirl. Apparently, Brainiac's end goal here is to have Kimbot say that Supergirl has let him down by not playing hard to get, and then blow himself up with his explosive necklace, making Supergirl retire from despair due to blaming herself for his death. Wow, that is dark. Kimbot questions Brainiac on how convoluted this plan is, but still goes along with it and rudely demands that Linda set him up to meet with Supergirl again. Linda, finally standing up for herself, asks why she'd do that when Kim treats her and Supergirl like trash. Yes, Linda, give that jerk a piece of your mind. Or you can cave to his demands when he kisses you because you're a hopeless simp. Damn it, Linda. To pass the time while she waits for her midnight hangout with Kimbot, Linda studies with her classmates, who aren't important enough to get names, but are important enough to inform Linda of a strong electronic signal coming from the park where she's supposed to meet Kimbot. Supergirl finally wises up and realizes there's something very wrong with Kim. So she grabs him, flies off into space with him, and brings him to a burial ground with a dozen stone statues of different men. Supergirl grins like a maniac and explains to Kim that the statues are her ex-boyfriends that she preserved in stone as trophies. I've got my private rock group. She truly is evil. That was a terrible pun. Supergirl commands the living minerals in the cavern to turn Kim into stone, and he begs for Brainiac to save him. But Brainiac knows that Kimbot was actually the real Keymore all along, and he's leaving both Keymore and Supergirl to die, spraying Supergirl with some kryptonite foam before escaping. Supergirl has just enough strength left to use her heat vision to unpetrify Keymore, and she asks him to throw his necklace to her. Keymore agrees, and Supergirl detonates the explosive necklace to make the kryptonite foam evaporate. Supergirl reveals to Keymore that the statues of her ex-boyfriends are just lifelike dummies, and she never intended to keep Keymore encased in stone. Then she reveals the real fate she has in store for Keymore, dropping him off at a rehabilitation facility near Stanhope College. I have several thoughts on this one. I feel very clickbaited by the teaser page. Neither Keymore nor Kimba explodes at any point like it promised, and I was looking forward to that. And despite the fact that the statues aren't Supergirl's real ex-boyfriends, it's still concerning that she would have dummies of her past boyfriends laying around somewhere. Maybe she took inspiration from her cousin's Shrine of Lois Lane mannequins at the Fortress of Solitude. I do feel like the twist that Kimbot was the real Keymore was pulled off well, though, with ample foreshadowing like some instances of him showing insubordination to Brainiac. Thank you for joining me for the 5th episode of Strange Silver Age. Once again, I'm Cassie Rose, signing off for now. I got some crime to fight, and I'll see you later.